Hey everybody, welcome back to the Swing at Me podcast. This is going to be a very, very special episode. Our special guest is none other than the one and only, the only blonde in the family,
Yup.
DJ Jazzmatazz.
Andrew, that's a mom thing. You are not allowed to
Okay.
call me that.
My youngest sister, Jayda Neal. Say
Hey.
hello to the people.
Hey, what's up?
Jayda is so the Neal family has four siblings. I'm the oldest.
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. Got two in the middle.
Yeah.
And if I can speak for you, I would like to say she's all-star athlete.
Oh my gosh.
You know, me and Matt's my younger brother. Me and Matt always thought that we would be kind of the athletes, specifically him. But as we got older, it turned out to be the girls.
Yeah.
Elena did college cheerleading.
Yeah. I mean,
You've gone
you,
to state.
you quit kind of early
gone
on.
to state, right? You've
Yeah.
gone to state, yeah, slight.
State's not that hard to get.
You have enough medals that if there was an earthquake, they would make a lot. Like, they would all
Dude, trust me.
shake the house
When
down.
my bed was like over on the same wall as my medals, every time I'd get in my bed, cheer, ding, 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 ding. Like that was my alarm clock.
How many
Like,
medals do you think you have?
Oh, it's been a while since I counted. That sounds so bad. I'm sorry.
That was awesome.
To be fair, it is so easy to get a... Nah, I should not say that for any other fellow gymnasts. It is way easier to get a medal in gymnastics because you have
True.
you have 5
There's
chances.
8 places.
Yeah. They go out 8 places. There's 5 different categories you could get a medal in. So, you can get up to 5 medals every meet.
Yeah. It's
Which...
nice. We didn't have that in basketball.
Right. Like, that's the one, like, you're like, oh my gosh, this game gives out medals, guys. We have to win. Like, it's different. It's every single meet. So, like, I had a really good year. We also went to smaller meets with kind of poor teams. And so, I got, like, 3 meets in a row. And that's, like, 15 right there. So, I think the total is around 60, though.
60.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's also like my 5th year competing or something like that.
Man, I think in my basketball career,
It is
I might have got
including
3 trophies.
it is including my 1 soccer medal for participation
There you go.
from the Park District.
Yeah, actually, yeah, no. When I was 5th grade, I had a lot of soccer medals. The Bolingbrook Soccer League was a great time.
Yeah.
Trying to prime my athletic career.
Not basketball, your soccer career.
Yeah, soccer is great. Although I think I'm actually better at basketball now. I think the best I ever was at basketball was in college, and I didn't even play on a team. But
Yeah.
yeah, my greatest basketball flex was so in college they have intramural leagues.
Mhm.
You know what that is?
Yeah, we have them at my school.
So I played. There's tiers. So there's the A league. That's like people that should be in the NBA. There's like B league, which is like really competitive.
Mhm.
And then there's C league, which is like
Let's
you
play
could show up on the
basketball.
court and play in like a Spider-Man onesie kind
Yeah.
of feel.
Yeah.
So I was in the B and the C league, but there was one C
Dang,
league
you were in the C League.
and the B league.
Dang
I
it.
did both. Okay. But I had a C league game. Now this might not. I will say this C league game, the opposing team had 2 or 3 players on the Taylor basketball team. All right, so it was legit.
Yeah.
My team was like, they were trash. I actually don't even think I was officially on that team. I just saw that they were losing, and I wanted to play against the good basketball players, so I just hopped in.
Yeah.
And I hit 13 3-pointers. I had like 50 points, and we still
Dang.
lost.
How do you?
We were already down by like 30 when I stepped onto the court.
I was gonna say that's like 26.
But yeah,
Nah,
it's my greatest flex.
that's not 26.
13 threes. I was like Stephen Curry.
That's
It was
crazy.
fun. I did not miss. It's my best game ever. And then
Dang.
the next day was when COVID was announced on the news, and like Ohio State shut down, and yeah.
Wow.
So then I went home, and yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah. It's so weird thinking about the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
I was just at school.
Mhm.
It was just over the intercom. They were like, hey, everyone's going home. You get a 2-week spring break. That turned out to be a 2.5 year spring break.
But yeah, why I thought you would be a great guest for the show is because with this podcast, we've been talking about faith, we talk about life, we talk about music. The whole idea of Swing at Me is like trying to do the things that God has called you to do, and how that can be a fight. So me being your older brother, I have seen you do a lot of amazing things, and I feel like something in your life is that is like a battle is perfectionism. And so I thought this would be a great topic because yeah, you and Mom are probably some of the most like perfectionist people I know. At least top 5.
Yeah.
And I'm on the other end of the spectrum, but I've been learning to be more of a perfectionist. So I was wondering when, like, how does perfectionism play out in just like whether it be like sports or your personal life? Like, how does it play out for you?
You mean like when am I that perfectionist?
Yeah.
Or,
And I might even be able to see it just more from the outside. Like, for an example, don't you like will schedule your whole day out like on a whiteboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I do to plan my day? Nothing.
Oh.
I just freestyle the whole day. I'll just wake up and be like, you know, like even like doing a podcast episode, like if someone was just like, well, usually it's me, I was like, oh yeah, I should just do an episode today, like that'd be fun. It doesn't have to be like all this and all that.
Yeah.
But more of a perfectionist would be like, I have to do it at 4:30, 30 minutes with this, which is good.
Yeah.
But I was wondering more like how being a perfectionist looks in your life, and what are some of like the good qualities and the bad qualities?
Yeah. The thing about the day-to-day thing, I've gotten a lot better about being more spontaneous because it definitely used to be like I've actually put away my whiteboard. It's in my closet now.
Whoa.
I would make, like, to put in perspective, my whiteboard was like this big, like ginormous. I would fill the whole thing. My writing is tiny. With just like little things I wanted to do that day. And I realized that like after a while it kind of took a toll on me because like it's one of those things where I just felt so like incomplete when I didn't finish it. So I stopped doing that. I started kind of just like generalizing like, oh, like Saturdays I want to do my laundry, clean my room, clean up my bathroom, just get like my stuff ready for the week so that Sunday I can just have a relaxing day after church, which has helped a lot and it's less stressful. But yeah, and academics is a whole nother thing.
Oh, wow.
I've also gotten better about that. Like 6th grade year, when we started getting like actual grades, like letter grades. Whew. I remember my first math test, I got a C. I cried for like 2 days straight because it was my first grade that I did bad on. And that was definitely a learning curve for me. Because I was like, shoot, I actually got to study.
You have a 4.0?
To try? I have no idea. I think so.
Probably.
Because we don't really have a GPA in middle school, but I've taken a couple high school classes. I took one last year because I'm in double honors math. So fancy. And it was a high school credit. This guy gave so much extra credit. I ended with a 104.
Dang.
It was great. He gave out 5 points of extra credit every quiz and test and extra homework before the semester was over. So that was great. So probably, but I don't know. Yeah, and I've taken, when I do bad on grades, a lot better and just kind of like take it as more of like, okay, how can I grow from this? How can I improve and not have to do this again? Rather than beat myself up about it. Definitely when I was like younger, showed more in gymnastics rather than school. Just because like elementary school, you count to 100 a billion times, so it doesn't really count. But in gymnastics, I used to come home crying like all the time. Like I quit at one point because first grade me quit because I couldn't take the stress of it.
Whoa. I didn't even know you quit.
I quit for 6 months and I did dance because I was just like stressed out because I wasn't perfect. I wasn't the best on the team. And that
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I mean, like, I sobbed before practice, and I sobbed afterward because I wasn't perfect. That has also, like, church helped me out a lot with that, of just hearing over and over again, like, we are not perfect. Like, we cannot do anything perfect. When people say that we do something perfect, it's because they're not perfect and they don't see the flaws in what we've done.
Whoa.
Like
that's deep.
Like this is like always in the back of my mind whenever I do something that isn't to like my fullest capability, and I always have to think about that. And I know you said like you're growing to be more of a perfectionist. It's not always the best thing. It's very overwhelming. I wish I wasn't a perfectionist, honestly. Because, yeah, like I know, like a 6-year-old should not have to quit her sport because she's overwhelmed, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. I always think back on that. I'm like, wow, that is so odd. Like, what is happening? And... yeah.
Wow.
So that's how that has played out for me.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So I have never ever struggled with the whole like you were saying you quit because you weren't the best one on the team.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So for me, I've been growing to be maybe more of a perfectionist isn't the right way of putting it, but more of a like the things that I do, I basically instead of shooting for good, shoot for great. Like
you sound more organized in what
yeah,
you do.
right. So, but I've never like I don't wake up and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be the greatest I'm gonna be like, yeah. I've always just been trying to be like myself, which I feel like
Mm.
there's a lot of freedom in being who God made me to be,
Yeah.
Jesus has called me to be. And yeah, what you were saying about how no one's perfect, I think that's always resonated with me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you can, in my case, it can be more like, I don't know. You want to shoot for great. You don't want to just kind of do a lot of stuff and it's all like mediocre.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's great. So when you were working through not being the best, uh, what what helped you, like, especially now as you're doing, because you're still doing sports, you're still a gymnast, you're doing like a lot of advanced classes. What helps you as you come to terms with the fact you don't have to be the best anymore?
Um. A better example would be last year for me. I kind of slipped back into that mentality of I have to be the best. Sixth grade year, my meet season, I did amazing. Also, my team was only 6 people, so it was
How
a
big is a
lot.
normal gymnast team?
20.
Oh, wow.
We were tiny. It was after COVID, so everyone kind of quit. But I was, I can, I still look back on it. I was the best on the team. I got the best scores. Not saying that like selfishly, but like, yeah. And then 7th grade year, our team tripled. We had 22 people. And a lot of these girls came from gyms where they would work 20 hours a week.
On gymnastics?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, my friend
It's a
goes to
full-time
one of those
job.
gyms. Yeah. She,
Like part-time job.
yeah. She misses ninth period every day to go to gymnastics. She doesn't get home till like 9 o'clock. But thing about that is like none of them are in honors because they just don't have time. They don't have time for homework. Like, homework? That's crazy. No, you don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
gymnastics is your job. So a lot of these girls came from that, trying to get away from that, trying to find like, they wanted to go to like social events, have like sleepovers and like go to dances. So they come to our gym. They were amazing. Like, perfect in my eyes. So meet season comes along and I am kicked down the podium 4 places by my own teammates. I mean, we swept like first 5 spots. We won every meet, which is amazing as a team, but gymnastics is not a team sport. Like, everyone says that is, but like, no, you're competing against yourself, supposedly, and
your teammates.
And your teammates and your opponents. So I fell back into that, like, why am I not the best anymore? Why am I not placing as high? My scores are higher, but why am I not placing? Like, I'm doing everything I can. And that is also when I started going to youth group, which helped a ton of, like, always having, like, that is when my, like, kind of new mentality started coming along of, like, I can only be as good as, like, I'm able to be. Like, it's okay not to be the best. You just have to be the best version of yourself. And, like, that's kind of when it started to shift. And a thing that helped me a lot was, funny enough, I started doodling, which is kind of like an odd, like, venting kind of thing for me. But, like, I would put my AirPods in full blast, and I would write down one word in the middle. Like, one of them was, like, actually perfectionism. And then I would write little words of describing it in my life, or how, like, ways I want to get better, like no more crying. And then I would make like an X through it, or like some sort of like artistic thing around it. And then I would write like a message on the page next to it for my future self, of like, hey, if you ever get into this again, like, remember these things. Look back on this. Look back on how you grew from this, and don't fall back into that, because it's not healthy. Like, this isn't helping you in any way, and try and get out of that again. So that was a big thing for me. I did a lot of self-reflection, which, like, sounds so like, oh yeah, you meditated. Like, it helps. It really does. Yeah.
Did you know that when I was your age, I thought I was gonna be like an animator?
I think Mom told me that.
I would draw for hours.
Really?
Yes.
Just like little Sonic figures, or?
Yeah. Grew up watching Sonic X every Saturday morning. And I could draw like all that stuff, but then I started playing soccer again.
Oh man.
And then I got into basketball.
Yeah.
But that's funny, huh?
'Cause
Doodling is like a Neal classic.
mine aren't like, I cannot draw characters from my life. My stick figures look like they were barfed out by some mystical yeti. Mine are more of like, I'll make like little dots or like little swirls, kind of how Mom does, like little hearts, and like just like something that in my brain it makes sense. Someone else looked at that page, they'd be like, what the heck? Like, what is that? But in my brain it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's pretty in a weird way. I don't know.
Huh. So how do you have you seen, because I've seen, I don't know if it relates to perfectionism, but I know like recently you got more connected in church in your youth group, and I know like you and Dad have like connected through the Bible and studying just studying the Bible and stuff. Has that helped you with perfectionism as well, or maybe just growth as a person?
Definitely. Recently, I am only in 8th grade, but I started going to, like, my church is split up by gender and then like middle school and high school. I started going to the high school group because the leaders like me. And
That's good.
that, and all of my friends are high schoolers at the church. The middle schoolers are just not mature enough to have some of the conversations that I need to hear. So I started going to the high school group, and that has helped so much. Like, I finally like look forward to going. Like, every Wednesday I'm like, yes, like I finally get to go and like talk to these girls, because it's so relatable. And they always talk about like struggles they have in school, or just like friends, or just like the drama that they're having. And it's just like different situations, but it's so nice to just like hear that, like, you know, like someone else is going through this, and they're still going to church, and they're still like doing these things, and they are making it, so I can too, you know?
Yeah, that's good. When I yeah, wait, so you're in 8th grade? Wow, you're growing up quick. I think when I was in 8th grade, you're in a lot better place I was. 8th grade, that was like, I was about to go to high school, so I came to the realization I was either going to be a Christian, and I was going to do it like the best I could, or I wasn't. And I was going to do that the best I could. And I couldn't stand youth group though. I hated it.
Mm.
And yeah, mom and dad had given up on trying to get me to go, but then I had met Carl, and he got me back into it. And I kind of relate to what you were saying. Like, I felt like for maybe my freshman year, I would hang out with not even like high schoolers. I would hang out with like the older like men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would hang out with like Carl, the other pastors. Like, I would hang out with just like dad, his friends, because I just needed to. Yeah, I just had questions, and I'm like,
yeah,
my friends are not telling me what's right.
yeah,
They're talking about absolutely nothing.
right.
Absolutely nothing that matters.
Yeah, because most of these girls are like juniors, seniors. It's like if I ever have a question, like they're like, "Oh yeah, been through that. Here's how you get out of that," and it's just so nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
And eventually, what's funny is there's like levels to it. So the level that I'm experiencing right now is now I have become, just because like I graduated college, I'm that age and I've gone through all the life, that now I've become the person that the 8th grade me would have talked to.
Mm.
And it's like, it's
right.
really weird.
It's like you learn those lessons and now you like reshare them.
And I'm like, yeah.
It's
very weird though.
Yeah.
Because I'm realizing like, whoa, life is a trip. There's like younger guys. Sometimes they're not even younger. Sometimes they're older and they haven't like had someone tell them the stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh man, like I'm a seasoned pro. Like, don't do this. Do this instead. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. So if you could tell a perfectionist like a tip of advice to not maybe beat themselves up so much and just like do the thing, whether maybe they're an athlete, like they just need to go to practice and get over themselves. They're an artist, they just need to release the album. They're they're trying to cook, but they can't make it taste like Chipotle. They just need to try.
Yeah.
What would you tell to a perfectionist who just needs to try?
I would say that you're only gonna get as perfect as you're gonna get. You just you always need to start somewhere, and you're not just gonna skip up to perfectionism. It takes work. That work can be 3 years, it could be a week. Some people will excel faster than you because they might just be naturally better at that skill, and that is okay. Like, that is how God made us. And you can't let that get in your way. Like, just because someone does something faster than you does not mean that you can't do it. It just means that it's going to take you longer. And most of the time, if it takes you longer to learn, you will learn more lessons along the way of how to get like your next skill faster or get it in a healthier way, and you'll just learn more lessons along that. And yeah.
Well, it's a good word. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah.
The Swing at Me podcast is out. Listen to the other episodes and the album. We'll see you later.